In a briefing with journalists on Thursday ahead of the FCT Executive Council meeting, Wike criticized what he described as the retired naval chief's audacity in deploying active duty officers to guard the disputed property. Defending his presence at the site amid public scrutiny, the minister emphasized that he could not remain passive while government officials were under attack, stressing his duty as a public officer to intervene in such situations. This and more stories will be coming your way this morning. Good morning to you all our dearest viewers, and welcome to today's edition of Now Streaming Morning Show on ACNNTV. I am Princess Clement, your anchor for today's program, and as usual, I'm not alone in the studio. With me this morning are Mr. John Dunu, who is a social commentator, and comrade Peter Piper, who is a human rights activist. Joining us virtually from Delta State is Prince Gostime Ukwanove, who is a politician and a human rights activist. Also joining us virtually from the UK is Honorable Precious Odogene Ubugu, who is the coordinator Obedient Movement, Northwest England, and former House of Representatives candidate. Welcome you all to the studio this morning. It's amazing seeing you. Mr. John, you're welcome. Mr.
Thank you very
Peter.
much.
Thank you so much, comrade.
It's always a pleasure being in the studio.
Yeah, it's a delight having you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, don't forget to call in using the phone number on your screen to share your thoughts or send your comments on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and other social media platforms. Your thoughts are valuable. Viewers, before we go into today's discussion segment, let's take a look at some trending stories on the front pages of our national daily newspaper. I will start with the Gambia. On page 4 and 5, we have the big story: victims bear scars, endure traumas as law remains on paper. This is striking. And on page 3, we have ASU may resume full-blown strike on November 21st over selective implementation of parts. The last story we'll be taking on the Guardian newspaper is on page 29. Passengers stranded after train breaks down in Kaduna. Oh no, that is serious. May God help them. We move to the Punch newspaper. The big story here says Ibadan Convention. PDP delegates arrive amid Saraki's cancellation move. The kicker says ex-Senate President George, top PDP leaders clash over caretaker committee plan as INEC reviews judgment. And on page 3 of the Punch newspaper, we have National Assembly shifts Wike CBT adoption to 2030. Wow. Okay, on page 14, we have genocide interview. Don't panic, Piers Morgan tells Tuka. All right, we pray that things will get better for us. We move to the Daily Globe, and the big story here says land dispute. Armed soldiers threaten to shoot us, FCT officials allege. Wow. We all watched what happened. I don't understand this. Okay, we'll get to know better when we'll start the story. And the last to be taken on the Daily Globe is on Atiku denies giving solve to naval officer in face-off with Wike. I was arguing this actually with somebody. I don't know where they got that news from. Is it that easy? You just wake up and because there was a little conflict between two important persons, the next thing you're giving solve. It wasn't sounding real to me, but then let's see what they have to say. On the Vanguard newspaper this morning, page 5, no religious persecution, genocide in Nigeria. Idris Tuga, AU, have this to say. And the kicker says PFN asks Trump to support Tinubu against insecurity, rejects military threats. Trump echoed what Nigerians of good conscience have been saying. Peter Obi. And that is all we'll be taking on our trending stories this morning. So much happening in Nigeria. Thank God we have the right hands here with us this morning. So viewers, don't forget to call in using the number on your screen to share your thoughts, because your views, your thoughts are very important to us. Once again, I welcome you to the studio. It's a delight to have you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Peter, Comrade Peter, I'll be starting with you. Like you heard me say, they say there is no religious persecution, there is no genocide in Nigeria. I don't know, what is your thoughts on this?
Well, let's call a spade a spade. Let's not hide from the facts. The facts are there. We not only have genocide, we have infanticide, and we have homicide. Now, the problems with these English words ending with side is that it's never on a good side. Suicide, homicide, genocide, it's never a good side to be in. Now, to deny that there is none of these things happening in Nigeria is absolutely delusional. Now, that is not to say how is it been managed, how is it been perceived internationally, how is it also been rationalized locally. So if you ask me, I'm not in denial of it. We have crisis in our hands. People have been killed. People have been slaughtered. Not just adults, children. The mass killing of children is called infanticide, and we have all of that going on in this country. A few months ago, right in this studio, we saw the footages right on the screen, right in this studio, where over 200 people, innocent, defenseless, harmless civilians, were slaughtered, butchered in their houses. So we can't deny that there is no atrocious acts going on in the country. That's my take on it.
All right, thank you very much, comrade. I'll move to Mr. John. What is your submission on this?
Well, I support what Comrade Peter said. Yes, definitely it's obvious. It's obvious that there is an attempt to exterminate Christianity in Nigeria, and the facts has been playing for itself. You know, I was born in Kaduna and actually schooled in Jos. So if not for what people say or what media carry, I for one have witnessed this, that there is an attempt. Like a place, a state like in Kaduna has been divided, completely divided. That state has Christian and Muslims in there, you know. But that's not to say that we have bad Muslims. We have good Muslims. I have a lot of Muslims as my friends, but this is as a result of the politics, the system, the style of politics we play in Nigeria, which is boiled down to be divide and rule. So this is the consequence of the divide and rule, the system of politics, the style of politics we play in Nigeria. So in summation, I would say definitely there is an attempt to exterminate the Christian faith in Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. I want us to welcome our online guest who is joining us right away, all the way from UK. Honorable Precious, you're welcome to the studio. Kindly give us your thoughts on what you think is going on. Do we have religious persecution, or are you also of the thought that there is no genocide in Nigeria?
Thank you very much, my sister. Right, so looking at what is happening today, it tells you the value that Nigeria government places on the citizen's life. Yeah, because a serious government, having seen the number of people that has died as a result of this menace in the past 2 years, would actually beg the US, if not for them to come and intervene as a country, to give them the intelligence, technological support, and support in terms of firearms and all that is needed to actually defeat these insurgents. But they are playing politics with it, because tell me how this is not a deliberate attempt, to wipe out a certain designation of people in the country. Because Benue State, as we are currently be having, crisis with the Fulani herders for the past years, and it's currently becoming a norm. There is a community called Agatu, I think it's part of the Doma-speaking ethnicity in Benue State. They have been, we are currently getting attacked on it's like a yearly thing for them. They are used to it already. And these people are Christians. So if you kill, 10 Christians in a community, how is that not an attempt to commit genocide? So it is just because the Nigerian government do not place value on the lives of the citizens, and our death is now looking like a normal thing to them. It's not something to really get unsettled about again. What is really there? People died so much in the Lekki Toll Gate massacre. It was still, politicized. So what is the life of a few people that can be used to play politics? That is what is actually the body language that is being displayed here. So there is a genocide. And the interpretation of this should tell Nigerians a whole lot. Because if this has affected one of the senator's children, or if this has affected one of the emir's children, or it has affected one of the president or governor's children, I tell you for a fact, it will be labeled appropriately. But since the life of the commoners are the ones taken on a daily basis, and it has not come to their very doorstep, then it is not something of national importance. There is a genocide, no two way about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for this thought of yours. I want us to quickly look into the trending stories on Wike. Soldiers, FCT officials face off over land issues in Abuja. Land dispute. Armed soldiers threaten to shoot us, FCT officials allege. I can't sit in the office while government officials are attacked. Wike defend clash with naval officer. FCT minister's action is a show of shame. Analysts commend naval officer. We also have Wike's clash with security officer poses threat to national security. Buratai. Wike's aide replies Buratai says clash with soldiers poses no security threat. Wike vows not to succumb to blackmail after face-off with soldiers. Wike's aide claims ex-naval chief was scammed, used force in land dispute. They put their lives on the line. Tinubu hails Nigerian military amid Wike's confrontation with military officers. Also, as after video of Wike's confrontation with military officer went viral, FCT bans mobile phones for AGIS other staff. And the last to be taking on the issue of this conflict is FCT minister's vows to halt illegal constructions in Abuja following confrontation with military officers. We have so much turbulence in Nigeria as it is now. What do you have to say on this? Let me start with you, Mr. John Dunu.
The FCT minister, His Excellency Wike, I would really commend his efforts in Abuja. He's really been doing good. If you see, since he assumed the office, Abuja has really improved. And then on the flip side, you would notice that lots of people are crying, like what happened to the ex-Navy chief, regarding the land disputes and all that. It's because of his statue. That's why we are hearing this and seeing this. Otherwise, so many people has been affected with this system, with this style of Wike. Lots of land has been taken from people, and these people really acquired this land illegally. So if I want to dwell on what he said, that the ex-Navy chief was scammed. The essence, for crying out loud, of having people in government is to serve us. It's not to oppress us. It's not to, be in a corner and wait for us to default, and they would take advantage of that. So if he was scammed, it's expected of the authority of the FCT to help him. And him not being, I don't believe he was scammed. He rightfully purchased this property, and it was said that the purpose of what the purpose was of what is constructing there is not what was approved. That is, was approved for a park. So this is what was supposed to be, resolved amicably. We expect the authority to help the citizen because we put them there to serve us, not to become antagonists, not to antagonize us. Like in FCT, I don't know if you have noticed, you would see lots of guys, some guys like you see in, like you're driving 4, 5, up to 10 of them. They keep, accosting drivers and begin to take laws into their hands and ask you for certain documents. And I don't know, that's so embarrassing. All right. So this system, this style of embarrassment is unacceptable by the people we have, elected to be in the office. And he should also understand that he was appointed, not even elected. And he should be mindful of the Commander-in-Chief's integrity in certain decisions he takes. So I think he should have taken a different approach. He doesn't have right, or his own life was even at stake going to the land to begin to ask questions or begin to fight. All right.
Thank you very much, Mr. John Dunu. Before I come to you, comrade, I want us to take a look at the videos making round over the dispute.
Officer. Nobody does that.
We did not carry anybody.
The man took the land. We will not allow because he was chief of naval staff, and then you to carry land.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop that?
You get
will you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer. I have integrity.
Shut up, your man. Put us.
I will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I was in school. You're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
me up. Will you keep quiet?
You can't
shut me up. Food.
I'm not a fool. I'm not a fool,
You can shoot anybody like that.
Sir, I'm not a fool.
Who are you?
I am not a fool, sir.
As for the time I graduated, you are primary school.
I'm acting on orders.
For which order? You will see whether you will not be there.
Sir, you can't call me a fool. I'm an officer. I'm not a fool, sir.
You will have killed everybody here.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders.
Go and develop your right to see you.
Regular officer, you won't come and
We are going to get out. You are aware that the land development and the development control has been coordinated to see where the illegal development going on and land grabbing. And when this was brought to my attention, I did instruct them to make sure that nothing takes place in as much as they do not have any legal paper in terms of mutual approval or even acquisition of the land. And when they came here, I was informed that the soldier of the military had to chase them away. And I thought probably they will be acting illegally. And so today when I was in the office, while they came to implement the directive that was given to them by myself, I was called that the military have taken over the place. And I have to come by myself to see things for myself. It's been unfortunate. And you heard what the officer said was said by the former chief of NAVAL staff. And I don't understand how somebody who attained that position, I see that he has a problem, cannot approach my office to say, look, this is what is going on, this is what is going on. But simply because he's a military man, he could use that to intimidate Nigerians. I'm not one of those kind of persons that will succumb to blackmail.
When I read that statement coming from him, I was like,
oh, you've seen it?
I've read it. I read it. I saw it yesterday. And I was like, the former chief of army staff is more concerned about talking to a uniformed man. He's not concerned about somebody, uniformed military men, who should be at the war front, naval officer, who should be at the Chad basin, confronting terrorists, being converted to private guards, guarding uncompleted building. Which one is a security threat to Nigeria? Between soldiers trained to defend Nigeria, now be converted to security guard, may guard, let me use the word may guard.
That's very disrespectful of our military, Mr. Olayinka. And we do know that military men also safeguard property.
That's exactly what they went to do. Uncompleted building. You see, you can safeguard property. You don't, where people are living there, no property under construction. You are protecting property under construction instead of you to be in Bono.
LCJ don't carry that truck go. Shame on you. Wike don't go with the truck. Soldier win this fight too. Only one lots of soldier.
Every time they go, they're supposed to give order. Say, may they destroy.
May they destroy. SCD don't pack their truck. We can't go. You want to collect soldier land?
You know why? People when they die for their land, they die for this land. Now you won't go collect out from them. Very short now. Very short. And these people they die for this land. You don't know what happened now.
I'm telling you, we can't carry shame go. Same boys on the floor.
Alright, this is sadly. But then I always tell people what peace can give, conflict can never give it. Comrade, can you please give us your thoughts, Comrade Peter? What do you think this is all about? I think there is no smoke, no fire, no smoke without fire. Please give us your thoughts.
Well, I want to completely disagree with a lot of you people and the perspective you take on it. Okay. I am not a fake comrade. I didn't just walk into the studio, you know, by accident. I have a pedigree of standing for truth and justice. I'm a civil society activist and a crusader for justice. When you look at this Wike thing, I think it's a total failure of our system. That military man has no business whatsoever on that property. We are not going to sit here and conduct a media trial. What is the role of a naval officer? You mean the country invested all that money to train you, put you in the Navy, so that you can stand in an uncompleted property, a building that is still under construction, and you have the infantry to talk back at the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, doing his due diligence, doing his job. If that naval officer have any ounce of respect for himself, he should remember we are not in the military regime. I belong to the generation of Nigerians who lived under military regime. And I can tell you the worst civilian government is better than the best military dictatorship you can ever think about. The job of the military is not to become Megad. That young military man has been relegated from the noble profession of being a naval officer to become a gate man, a security man for ongoing projects. You know, that is not, I am not proud of that military man. I am ashamed of him. And I think this boy is a disgrace to the Nigerian Navy. He's a disgrace to the armed forces of Nigeria. And if we live in any civilized society, this young man should lose his uniform and should apologize to the rest of us. So it's very disgraceful for me to see young Nigerians saying, yes, he stood up against power. Yes, he's a Gen Z. He was able to stand up against. That is complete and total rubbish. We are not in a state of emergency. I am a resident of the FCT. We all live in the FCT. We are not in any danger. So for you to parade full military men in combat gear, combat readiness, just to protect a property, not human beings. I think Nigerians are not that stupid. I don't want to mix word with Buratai. He's a man I know, I respect. I can even tell you that I have a relationship with the Buratai family. But when it comes to this issue of being a civilian, I am a civil society leader. Civil society means civilians living in their own society. So what gave that man the right to talk to the minister of the FCT with such audacity? So tomorrow, are you telling me if the Minister of Education wants to go and supervise a private school tomorrow, you will tell me, oh no, this private school is owned by a retired naval officer or a retired Air Force officer, so the Minister of Education cannot perform his job supervising, you know, educational institution? I think the victim in this circumstance is the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, and I think that young army officer owes him.
All right, we have a call in the house.
An apology. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, everyone in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to your guest.
Thank you for calling.
We are talking about Wike and the soldier and the philosophy of being a fool, and I am not a fool, sir. You see, your guest in the studio who started his commentary by saying that he is not a fake activist. You see, it's just like somebody who is running when no one is pursuing him. No one asked whether he is fake or not, but because he has started his speech by saying that he's not a fake activist and he resides in Abuja, I want to ask him, how many times has he come to the street since people are complaining that Wike is grabbing their land, Wike is revoking their land unconstitutionally and illegally? How many times I don't even know him anyway, but how many times have he come to the street to request for a proper case regarding to the land grabbing issue? Since Wike became the governor of Abuja and the FCT, as we call him, you see, we just allow Wike to be boasting himself under the wing of the strong man in PDP, and whatsoever he's doing in Abuja, we are just looking at him because he's operating with a federal might. And the person that sent him knows what he's doing. It's a combined business. And we don't, just like Wike will always say, heaven will not fall. But that very day, heaven nearly fell. He would have crossed the line and see whether heaven will fall or not. For the young man in the studio saying that a naval officer has no business in protecting an uncompleted project, what is the primary job of our security officers, if not the protecting of life and property? Is that place not the property? That particular activist will still be on the street to protest tomorrow when Yerima will be put in guard room because he refused the last command of his superior. He is there on a special duty by his superior, and Nigeria should rest. Wike is not a god, for goodness sake. I beg.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Sunday, for lending your thoughts. I want us to have the thoughts of Prince.
I would like to respond because the young man asked a question that, you know, he was particular about me, and I think I deserve a right of response.
You have the right.
So first, let me forgive that young, ignorant young man. He said he doesn't know me. Well, I don't blame him because we live in a world where social media decides everything. We live in a world where, you know, he was brought up in a different mindset. So, and these are the people who just hide behind their phones, and they are superstars behind their phones. So in a way of proper introduction, I am Peter Michael Piper. And if you asked if I have ever done a protest, I have gone to jail for protesting in this country. This is the only year, if this year ends in December, and I didn't spend a night in jail, I will be celebrating a year, not spending a night in jail. So whoever you are as a young man, you can keep playing with your phone, keep doing your TikTok. But all those of us in Abuja, they know every time we talk about the protest, they know those who lead the protest, we know those who coordinate the protest, we know those who direct the protest. So if this man says he doesn't know me, it means he's never been out on protest, because I went to jail June 12th. And I'm not sure that June 12th, 1993, that maybe the man who just spoke now was probably not born or not in the streets. We fought against the military. We fought to have democracy in this country. So he can keep his opinion to himself. And I want to reiterate that that man called Yerima, that naval officer, that is not the training of the naval, of the Navy. I will be very embarrassed if the American Navy is found somewhere protecting a property. So I think the Nigerian youths have been made so stupid that they can't distinguish between what is real and what is fake. What you are watching on the screen is not the job of a naval officer.
All right.
I take exception to your saying that Nigerian youths, I mean, the last comment you made about Nigerian youths.
What was the comment?
I don't want to repeat it, sir.
No, please go ahead. I can always defend everything I say.
Not exactly the representation of.
No, if you don't know what I said, then how will you be able to take a position
for such kind of reckless statements?
No, you will need to first know what I said. Then you now take another position. So when you talk about youth, you think was anybody born? You think I was born old?
Yeah, no.
Is there anyone who was never a youth?
I'm not saying it in a bad way, but just to correct an impression.
We are saying we give birth to this generation of youth, and we are saying that this generation of youth we are seeing, we are watching a TikTok generation, people who do not go in depth into the analysis of anything.
And I'm saying that
all they have just seen is, oh, Wike is the bad guy,
that is not the representation
you have to go deeper
of the Nigerian youth.
I would like you to give me a proper representation of the Nigerian youth.
The representation of a Nigerian youth is a resilient Nigerian, is a kind of an outspoken Nigerian, a hard-working Nigerian, not a lazy Nigerian.
You are trying to give me the idealistic, what a Nigerian youth should idealistically be.
Sir, with due respect.
So are you trying to create a new generation of Nigerian youth from this Nigerian youth that we are seeing everywhere?
With due respect, sir, if people in your time did actually what they were supposed to do, we are not supposed to be fighting this type of battle in Nigerian polity at this time.
Yeah, this is the blanket statement we always hear from our young people. They blame everything on the past. You know, yes, if the people behind have done everything. And I always hear the youth say every time that, you know, they want inclusion of young people, that the old people should just vanish and disappear.
We're not saying that.
No.
We're not saying that.
You just mentioned that. You implied it by saying, if the generation before you had done all the job before.
Because our politics has degenerated to this type of situation. All right.
Come back to you. All right, still on the issue of Wike, the face-off on land disputes. What is your take?
I want to quickly toe the line of the self-proclaimed comrade in the studio, but I want to be very satirical. It is because of this kind of people that is why I do not address myself, or I do not see myself as a comrade, because I feel that a lot of people that address themselves as comrade or go by the toga comrade, they are in there for something else. Being a civil society actor, by the virtue of my office as the Executive State Director of the Conference for the Restoration of Human Rights here in Delta, and participated in over 100 protests with at least 15 years of civil rights advocacy, I know I am a big actor in the civil society arena. But let me be satirical here. Wike is a very good example of who a leader is. Wike calling Yerima a foolish person, he did it very well. Then Wike having had the FCTA, the FCT administration go to that very land to do their job, then they went to destroy whatever that was ongoing in that site. And the owners of the site said, no, you cannot destroy our site, that we have valid documents in relating to this very construction that is ongoing. Then Wike, as the Egbe Weja of Nigeria, having heard that, oh, these people are documented, he came to call the people that were trying to protect their property stupid. I want to applaud Wike. I want to applaud our comrade there in the studio. Then I want to quickly say that in a lawless society, being law-abiding becomes a crime. This is the same Nyesom Wike, who is known for very stupid character. We all knew what he did in Rivers State as a governor. Just recently, the face-off with Fubara, you saw how they twisted the whole scenario in favor of Nyesom Wike against Fubara, and they rubbish the man, and Fubara automatically became an Indomie. Now, this is the same Wike that have now come to put Nigeria in a position of disrepute, in a position of shame and disgrace, insulting the uniform that we honor so much, which is the military uniform. If you play with your security in such manner, how
How do you expect the international community to take you serious? For me, that scenario, that drama that played out between Wike and Yerima in that site is a disgrace to our nation. And Wike insulting the man is shameful and must not be encouraged. It must not repeat itself. I'm very happy that in governance we have tenure, and the tenure of these miscreants, these political jobbers, these never-do-wells of the All Progressive Congress with President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the likes of Wike will soon pass away. And by the special grace of God, the ADC, we are going to form the next government.
Well, you can see how this has degenerated into partisan. That's why I don't know if we're just here in the studio. No, we are here to watch a commentary. You see why I find it difficult to listen. This is a man who calls himself a comrade, who says 15 years and now he's talking ADC, APC. It's a shallow mentality.
You will have your time to talk.
I'm ashamed of the Nigerian youth.
I take an exception to that. Old man, I take an exception to that. As I be a civil rights advocate, I am a politician.
For 15 years. For 15 years.
I ran for Federal House of Rep.
It means you are. No. I cannot. There are certain things that.
You have your time.
Yes. No, but what this man is saying. Every word he has used, I am a veteran broadcaster. The words you are permitted this man to use against individuals on this,
those are his opinion.
No, it could be on his opinion, but I can say that this station, for granting him the permission to use some of these words that cannot be defended in court, he is calling leaders of your country miscreants.
Let's pick a call.
You heard when he called them miscreants.
Comrade, hold your thought. Let's pick a call.
Or the FCT minister, Wike, one, to me, he was wrong. He ought to have followed due process. The due process was when he was informed that soldiers were on guard at that place. All he ought to have done would have been maybe to inform the military, maybe the chief of defense staff, to write to the vice admiral concerned, or leave the matter in the hands of the Navy to attend to the matter, or invite the air vice marshal, or is it the rear admiral concerned, to come for a dialogue so that they could amicably settle the issue. By taking laws into his hands, okay, soldiers are on guard. You say you want to go and see. You want to go and see where soldiers are on guard? It will amount to maybe a scuffle. And that was what really happened. If not for some fear, I believe he and the policemen there with him would have fought, and it would have amounted to something else. Finally, with what the elderly man there said, the youths of this generation truly have a problem. I remember when I was in primary school, when I was going to school in Lagos, everywhere became violent. What were we hearing? Ali must go. Honestly, the youths of yesteryears, they knew their rights. And because of poor quality of education, the youths of today don't know their rights. They can't defend their rights. I'm not blaming all the youths, but at least more than 80% of the youths of Nigeria don't know their rights. And when there is no poor standard of education, you will not know your right and you will not be able to defend your right. And that is what is happening in Nigeria. The youths, like the elderly man there said, all they know is to go on Facebook, on social media. And when you read what they are writing on social media, it does not make sense. You can't stand up for your rights. And that is why the politicians are dealing with us. I'm not really supporting what the military did. It's true what he said. It's just like a soldier man going to guard a private school against the Minister of Education. Wike was not wrong in discharging his duties, but to me, he did not follow due process. He ought to have invited the person claiming the land for amicable solutions. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for calling, Mr. Uchenna. I want the viewers to please kindly keep calling to share your thoughts. Meanwhile, we'll have to extend this program with extra 20 minutes so that you can share your thoughts with us. Don't forget to comment using all our social media platforms. I'll come to you, but hold on, let Prince God's Time finish his thoughts. Prince God's Time, over to you.
So conclusively, what I'm saying is that Nyesom Ezenwo Wike, the rogue minister of FCT, has not done well. He has disgraced our nation and he needs to apologize to the armed forces. Then going forward, we must encourage the kind of elders that we have in this country to do that which is right. They have destroyed this country. In their prime, they did absolutely nothing. And now they are not trying to turn over to blame young people, insult our sensitivity, and we are not going to take it lightly with them. We are going to bring the revolution to their doorstep at the appropriate time. They should continue aggravating our anger, and at the appropriate time, we are going to come for them. So that is my thought on this issue.
All right, thank you very much. I'm happy to hear that we all have our different views to this point, to this face-off. Definitely, you cannot tell me that one person is wrong, the other person is right. I think these both parties are both wrong in their approaches, because there is another trending video from Governor Soludo, who also had this same issue with a police, I think then. But then the way he approached or addressed him was so polite, I must say that. So I think even as a leader, there is room for us to also maintain some level of politeness whenever we are talking to our subordinates or anybody that will think we are definitely above. There is always a reaction or an action for a counter reaction.
But the problem we have here is that we are passing a media judgment.
Okay.
And that is the problem I always have with the Nigerian press and our youths. We know how to put blanket judgment. Just like the young man. You say, I like the young man. He's from my state. I'm from Delta State. And the young man speaking there doesn't even know I know his trajectory very well.
Okay.
And I'm one of the persons who don't like to be very, very, visible. But you see, the Nigerian youths have been made to trivialize our problem. That's why if you ask that man wearing green, he's a civilian, but you can see the way he's dressed in green. And he says he will not call himself a comrade, yet he's talking about a revolution, and he's not a comrade. And he doesn't want to call himself a comrade. And you can see all his credentials. He has been protesting for 15 years. And he is now, he was not amongst those who protested during the time of the military. Until we were given civilian government. And he is blaming the generation of the people who protested against the military for him to be enjoying this democracy that these young people are enjoying was fought for by a different generation. So the problem when they analyze things, they are so superficial. The young man was going to tell you that the end of Nigeria's problem will be when ADC comes into power. And if you allow this man to go on talking, he will trivialize the problem to such an extent that the moment you just vote one Igbo man into presidency, bam, all Nigeria's problem will vanish. And then overnight, Nigeria will move from consumption to production. Pronto, boom. This is the story the Nigerian youth believe. So they have trivialized everything. The Nigerian youths have become so perplexed and confused by not having a proper ideological background. They lack ideology. The real problem of Nigeria is systemic. It has nothing to do with the individuals. You take anybody, put the person in that position, the system is going to make you do that same thing. So you are not going to, so when we criticize the system, you see the people who get angry with us are people attached to the system.
All right.
It is impossible for you to speak the words of truth without provoking people. Jesus Christ was murdered brutally and he killed because he spoke truth. Martin Luther King, the same thing. Truth is a provocation. So don't expect you invite me to your studio as a comrade and you think I'm going to come here and everyone is going to be happy about what I will say. No, if there's anyone who owes an apology, is that young boy called Yerima. And that young boy called Yerima should please go back to Navy school and be taught that the role of the Navy is to protect the territorial waters of Nigeria and not to guide uncompleted building or completed projects going on in the FCT. And I also want to blame the press. I am a retired veteran journalist, and you can hear that even from my enunciation of words. I want to blame the Nigerian press for not ever going deep into the issue. We are always at the surface. Now, the minister have told you, this man who says, this Navy man who says he owned the property, has he shown you the receipt of the property, who he bought it from? The property that is being constructed right now, has he shown you the building plan and the authorization for him to be doing it? So because you have a hatred for a particular generation, and then you refer to Wike as a rogue, and then you refer, you know, he used so many defamatory, you know, words to categorize his leaders, and he is praising a military man, a small naval officer who was in the wrong place.
All right.
The guy should be in the Delta State where there's oil theft going on, there is bunkery going on. That is the duty of the Navy, not to become Megad in FCT.
All right. In light of this, your submission, I want to read a comment. Let me hold my thought on that. We have a caller.
Ms. Michael, and I'm calling you from Ebony.
Good morning, Michael.
Quite surprised at what your guest in the studio is saying, for goodness sake. Is he trying to pick a side between what happened between Wike and the naval officer, or he's trying to be neutral? Because if he's trying to be neutral, he's going to know for a fact that both parties are wrong, but that does not make Wike right. You can't say the naval officer should go back and to naval school. If there is one thing he knows about the military, he should know that there is a chain of command. And the militaries are like zombies. They listen to the command of their officer, their superior officer, no matter what. And when we look at this critically, we only have one commander-in-chief. And that one commander-in-chief is not Wike. So what was Wike? Wike is a power-drunk individual. What was Wike thinking in the first place to have left his office as a minister? If he had respect for his office as a minister, will he have left his office to go to a land to do what exactly? Is he feeling like when he appears there, his presence is going to terrify everybody? This is something he does. Nobody is saying that what the militaries are doing is right, but for goodness sake, Wike is a power-drunk individual, and nobody is going to apologize to him because he is not right either. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. Let's take the thoughts of Honorable Precious. Are you there? Honorable Precious.
Honorable Precious. I'm here.
All right, thank you. Let's have your thoughts.
All right. So the truth is, we are really not looking at this problem holistically.
Okay.
This is not time to apportion blames. It is time to actually x-ray the society and see the level of decadence that we now live in. Now imagine if the property that is in question wasn't owned by a vice air admiral or a vice admiral, you know. This wouldn't have come to limelight. As I speak to you, almost on a weekly basis, people who came to Abuja with the hope of becoming something, with the hope of getting something out of their lives, are relocating out of Abuja, not at their will, because the properties that they have labored to put into place after 18 to 25 years are being demolished, and not just demolished because they got this property illegally, but because people who have money more than them and have affluence more than them are interested in those property. It is in this same Abuja that people were crying that the property that they have lived in for years and even developed was revoked from them. And, you know, these people were complaining that they have nowhere to go. You know, they needed help. At the tail end of it, we heard that the property were reallocated to Wike's children. It died a natural death, and at the end, we heard that people in AGs who unveiled those documents were suspended. These are rumors anyway, because we did not get to find out how it all ended. You know, I once lived in an area in Abuja.
All right.
Where demolition was.
Honorable
someone is
Precious, coming. Yes, we have a caller.
Pansalem from the Republic.
All right, thank you. Go ahead with your submission.
Okay. You know what is happening now? You know, I just want to say that my time in Nigeria surprised the youth coming, because for Wike, the way they approach the matter was abnormal, and he don't have the time to say that young NAVAL officer. So that kind of utterance is not good for a person like him. Therefore, I don't know what he's teaching the upcoming youth. And he don't have right in session to go and exhibit all those characters. So nobody is holding apology. The NAVAL officer is right. He's working on that command. So, and that is what I think that we should do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling, Chief Anselm. All right. Honorable Precious, you can go ahead.
All right. So, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to tell you is this. Nigerians have been so bossed to the extent that they have lost hope in this country. And that is why you see people leaving this country on a daily basis, because they cannot actually sit down and foretell what the future of their children can be. This is a country where you buy property thinking that you have invested, and then you wake up one morning, the properties have been revoked because somebody in power is interested in the property. Now imagine that the property in question didn't have a vice admiral or someone in power of such to protect it. It would have been quietly, you know, demolished and then reassigned. We heard about an area in Abuja that was completely, you know, demolished, and then it was assigned to an estate development company. Nothing further was said about it. And just months ago, we heard when Wike had issues with PDP as a party, the next thing he did was to say that the land tenure of the secretariat has been long due, and then got the place locked up. Of course, you know that in Abuja there are a lot of people who are not compliant with land tenure, but Wike has been known to be someone who is actually whenever he feels like he wants to do something, he would try to show you his force. So what happened is just simple. The Vice Admiral himself, knowing fully well that in cases of protection of life and property, the police is the first line of defense, wasn't confident of the police. It tells you of how also decayed our police policing system is. If you listen to Kayode Egbetoku, the IGP of police, he went on to say that those police who came with he didn't accurately speak, that the police who were accompanying people to reclaim property were acting under illegality. So of a truth, the Navy has no business protecting private properties. But notice and put this into note, if a Navy personnel is in that property at that point in time, and the life of that Navy personnel is at stake, the Navy has the duty to protect the life of that Navy personnel. So let us look at it from different angle, because the lieutenant said that they had a call saying that police and some people were coming to intimidate and molest them on site. Them, put it in connotation, did not tell you who were there on site. So of a truth, protecting that property is illegal, because constitutionally, the Navy has no business protecting a private property. But it is a norm in Nigeria as we speak today. If you're a political class and you cannot afford a private to have a soldier or a police guiding you, you are seen as someone who is just a mediocre in the society. That is how bad our society has so decayed. So, Comrade Peter, I know quite all right, you're trying to push a narrative that wants to be built on the basis of morality, but morality has to be properly scaled. People do not trust the system anymore. The man doesn't trust the system. He created a means to protect his property. What I'm saying in a nutshell is, a day would come where Wike will go out for demolition, and ordinary citizens, civilians who has been pushed, who just feels like, since you are coming for our property, today is the end, let us die today, will react in a manner that Wike would not expect. That is just a tip of the iceberg. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Precious. I want us to also liken this whole thing to what the Chief of Defense Staff have said. He said there's nothing wrong with what the naval officer has done, and also you can also see what the president...
Are you quoting him?
Yes.
Because you see, we are on public.
Yes, sure.
We are on public television.
The president also, yes. I'll come to you.
I need you to quote verbatim.
All right.
Verbatim.
I quote from the presidency.
Good, because I heard that speech. So don't twist it. Just quote it verbatim.
They put their lives on the line. Tinubu hails Nigerian military amid Wike's confrontation.
Forget the amid Wike's confrontation. This is what pressmen do. I told you I'm a veteran in this business.
We are just trying to
say
so
what the president said. Don't try to twist it. You see, there's a difference between a narrative and a perspective.
I'll come to you.
What the president said is simple, that our soldiers put their lives on the line. He didn't say that this particular megad.
No, we say amidst this confrontation, amidst
the confrontation was put in by the pressman who wrote that.
I think it is what it is.
No, the president didn't say. Listen, okay. I'm a pressman.
Okay.
I'm a pressman.
No problem. Okay.
The president didn't say, "Well, I miss what's going on here. I want to say this."
All right.
That's not what the president said.
Thank you, Comrade Peter. Let me take your thoughts, Comrade Mr. John Duno. Thank you.
I think Comrade Peter sounds like he's an APC sympathizer, but
I don't belong to any political party.
Right,
I take that.
I didn't say.
I take it. No, we say sympathizer.
I didn't say you belong to any
civil. I defined myself.
Yeah. Okay.
I said I'm a civil society activist.
Sure.
Okay.
So if you don't know the meaning of civil, or you need to check the dictionary for society or activist, then it's a problem.
I never said you belong to
So when you say
any
APC, whether you
party,
like it or not, you are being governed by the APC government.
Exactly. It's okay.
You get it. Because the young man speaking there is a Peter Obi sympathizer. The other guy there is
because
also
I heard you say
you
that he is speaking like if they bring one Igbo man.
And I was talking about Peter Obi.
And but that wasn't relevant. Not even from the East.
No, listen.
Yes.
Listen.
So
listen, everybody you have interviewed here, check their track record.
Okay.
The guy speaking from the UK, who is he? He's the leader of Obedience
I think
movement.
He's taking my time.
Hold on, the leader of Obedience movement. All right, take your time. Take back your time.
Yes, please. Let's allow you.
So, in my view,
yes,
the duty of our security officials is actually to protect life and property, and that is a property. And if
undeveloped property,
if my duty as a Navy officer or a security personnel is to protect life and property, and I cannot be able to protect my own property. I don't think I'm sensible. So I think the Navy officer, number one, he is acting under a command of his boss.
We are not in a military regime.
I didn't say we are.
So he's not the one in charge.
Can you just allow him to?
This is supposed to be a conversation.
Of course it is. But
so
he
what
has
we're
a
having
point.
is a
Let
conversation.
him finish, then we'll come to you.
Yeah.
No, that's what's ruining Nigeria. This is supposed to be a conversation,
all right, okay.
and we can be interjecting.
All right.
So please go ahead.
So are you trying to say to me that the insults, the Navy officer, the young Navy officer, all hail Nigerian youths, he never, he never acted the way Nyesom Wike acted. He wasn't provoked by those utterances, but he comported himself. Are you trying to say to me that all the insults that the minister rained on him was correct? Are you trying to say to me that the minister going to the property is correct?
Absolutely correct.
All right, before you answer
he asked me a question.
Let me give
No,
a
he
comment.
just asked me a question.
Let me read a comment.
Okay, go
Let
ahead.
me read a comment. Is it a leadership virtue that we should emulate what Mr. Wike exhibits during his face-off with the soldier? It's an act of shame that a sensible person must condemn. From Falade Isaac.
Falade Isaac can say anything he likes. And I have a right to say that Falade Isaac is not a sensible person.
All right, thank you.
It's not a sensible,
Wike
it's not a reasonable
has
comment.
suddenly become a minister for land disputes. He has stated that all the past leaders are calling him to settle land matters during his press statements. I am waiting for him in my village. We have many jobs for him. Your white boots, activist.
No, he's talking about my white beard, and I love the white beard. Look, I look beautiful.
Right.
I'm one of the most.
Right.
In fact, I'm the most handsome guy in the studio right now. So I love this beard.
All right, that is okay. That is okay. He said the beard
is he having my white beard?
Has never asked Wike any questions regarding all the allegations concerning the lands he has allocated to his children. I don't blame Wike, because Bola Ahmed Tinubu is aware of Wike's land business in Abuja. Your every year prisoner activist is defending his tip.
I like that. Every year prisoner activist.
From
that's
the government.
That's
anyway,
great.
I blame Donald
And that's allegation now. A tip from the government.
For delaying his visit, I blame Donald J. Trump for delaying his visit. If not, all these bad leaders would have gone silent. All this comment from Mr. AZ.
In conclusion of my time, because I never asked you a question to answer.
Opinion or view.
All right, to this.
Yes.
This is typically an example or an expository of what everyday Nigerians go through in Abuja.
Absolutely.
That is just the way I want to. So, but this happened, and we have to hear it on media because it's a power tussle. It's a power. So he has power. The Navy chief has power. So when the two elephants fight, the ground suffers. So, but I just want to let you understand that so many thousands of people in Abuja are casualty of same story.
All right. Can I have my final take on it? My final take on it is that we'd like to remind all military men in Nigeria that we are in a civilian government, not a military government. That the a minister of the Federal Capital Territory, he is the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, which means as long as you are in the Federal Capital Territory, you are within his jurisdiction.
All right.
And let me remind the Navy that the Navy have their own territory, and it has to do with the Nigerian coastal waters. I am from the Niger Delta. We need Navy people to go there and not to become Megad in Abuja.
Thank you very much. Comrade Peter Piper, that name is so poetic.
He's a poet.
All right, we'll talk about poem later. Now, we'll take the last thought of Honorable Precious. Are you there?
I can hear you clearly.
All right, please go ahead. We need your last thought in just 60 seconds.
So in 60 seconds, what I have to say is that Nigerians, you should put on your armor of courage to fight the oppressor like Yerima has done. On a daily basis, our value for life is reducing, and the possibility of an average child from a poor background becoming something is also diminishing. If we do not fight to redefine what morality and wrong and right is in Nigeria, you will be fine doing the right thing and be seen as the person who is wrong very soon. As it concerns what is actually ongoing, I tell you for a fact, it's actually the definition of the height of the frustration and intimidation that has been meted on common citizens of Abuja. And for Abuja people who have suffered the fate of having to live in Abuja for 18 to 35 years of hustling as civil servants, and then your houses have been demolished, this is a perfect timing for you to narrate your story and tell people how you have been, reprogrammed financially, and you have been brought down to nothing simply because land grabbers like Wike, who are power drunk, have decided not to leave the poor social class alone.
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. We'll take the last thought of Prince Godstime. Prince Godstime, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. It's really terrible that we are having people exonerate Minister Wike for his verbal attack on Yerima, but that's just fine. This is the beauty of democracy. The majority have their say, while the minority have their say, while the majority have their way. Now, why I advocated support for the military action and stated it was lawful to remain lawful in a lawless society. Emphasis on it is unlawful to remain lawful in a lawless society, because Wike has always been unlawful. So many persons went to court to stop Wike from demolishing their properties. And many of the court orders did Wike honor. Wike, he went and he did not obey any of these orders. People have to resort to self-help because they know that Wike doesn't obey court orders and it does not obey the rule of law and order.
All right. As you can see, we've had a lot of I don't know what to say right now, but it is what it is. My profound thanks to our special guests here with me for sharing their wealth of knowledge on today's program. Thank you very much, our amazing viewers, for staying with us. I want you to understand that everything our analysts have said or have commented are purely their opinion. It has nothing to do with ACNNTV. So please, while you are there trying to complete or understand what is going on, these comments are purely their opinion. Without you, viewers, I can't do this alone. Let's remember that dignity, integrity, and safety of every individual are the foundation upon which a nation is built. When we prioritize the well-being and security of our citizens, we create an environment that fosters growth, prosperity, and development. Let us work together to build a nation that values the dignity, integrity, and the safety of every citizen. A nation that is just, equitable, and prosperous for all. We have come to the end of today's now streaming program on ACNN TV. Till we come your way again with another beautiful story. Same station and same time next week. I remain Princess Clement. Bye for now.